uh, you know, pillars of Govardhan Eco Villages: spirituality, sustainability, and social impact, harmony with the self, harmony with the divine, harmony with nature, and harmony with community. So we are working with 120 villages and more than 3,000 farmers. We have what is known as Wadi program, where we are doing agriculture, horticulture, floriculture, multi-cropping, and training the farmers that you can actually make your fertilizers and insecticides with cow dung and cow urine. To get them out of NPK farming is not so easy. So you have to give them hand holding, and also to show that keeping a cow can be very useful beyond just milk. So that has been very powerful. The second SDG which we have tried to accomplish or try to create some impact is zero hunger. And as many of you are aware that ISKCON is already famous for 3 million meals every single day across midday meals. But also in the district of Palghar, we have been serving as what is known as hunger-free Palghar. One of the biggest challenges which we find is that because of hunger, the women are highly anemic, malnourished, and it affects the next generation. And the cycle of poverty and hunger and malnutrition thus continues forever. And interestingly, India has this double burden problem in the rural places, where even those who have the food do not have the right kind of nutrition. As far as healthcare is concerned, one of the biggest challenges we have found on the ground, although we are running 4 primary healthcare centers, is India's statistics is 14 lakh doctors in India, 7 lakh doctors are Ayurvedic and naturopathy, 7 lakh are allopathic. Out of the 7 lakh, 1.5 lakh are for 80 crore rural population, and 5.5 lakh are for the remaining 50 crore urban population. And most people who are doctors do not want to live in villages, and we face extreme problem because of that. If you ask them why you don't want to stay, they say there is no English medium school for my kids in future. And then when you ask the teachers, can you set up a school, they say there is no hospital in the village. So who will come first is a big dilemma. So some of the people who are very close to us, they just staged a walkout, and ultimately I went to Dr. Pratap Reddy of Apollo and said, let's set up some telemedicine centers, because that seems to be one of the only hope. Otherwise you have Ayurvedic person sitting and giving allopathic prescription drugs in primary healthcare centers. That's the ground reality. Education wise, 27 crore students across K to 12 in India, 3 crore in university systems. But you may be shocked to know that at 12th standard there is an 88% dropout rate from K to 12, and only 12% of the students who enter the kindergarten enter into the college system in India. So there is such a huge dropout. So we are trying our bit, and we are very aware of the fact that education comes from the Latin word educare, which means to bring that which is within. And so we are very focused on the fact that the main purpose of education is to establish the right intention. Why there is so much of anxiety? Because intention is at 4 levels as given in the Gita. The lowest level is intention due to fear. Higher than that is intention due to desire. But both fear and desire as intentions put you constantly in anxiety. Only when you go beyond the tamogun and rajogun and come to the sattvagun, and the intention comes to the level of duty, then some degree of sanity and peace prevails. And then the highest is intention caused by love. So traditional Indian education was focused on having a culture which would transform the people and improve their intention. So teachers are not just supposed to be carriers of information, but they are supposed to transform the intention of the students from working just based on fear and desire, but come to the level of duty and love. And that's what we are trying to do. Gender equality, we have various women empowerment programs, self-help groups, more than 300 self-help groups, and we are training the women to have various kinds of skills by which they can add additional income to their families. Then SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. And all of you know that 97.5% of the global water is salt water, only 2.5% of the water is fresh water. Out of that, almost 99.97 of that water is in glaciers or in groundwater. So what you see outside in the form of rivers and the fresh water we see is only very small percent of 0.3%. Therefore, it's very important. Although Palghar district gets almost 3,500 millimeters of rain, still, if there is no proper intervention and rainwater harvesting is not done and we do not provide the proper facilities, very soon we see that the farmers, in spite of having the water in the rainy season, and just after that, they lose access to that. So therefore, we teach farmers how to do hydrogeological survey. Otherwise, when we were informed about hydrogeological survey, Dr. Himanshu Kulkarni from Pune Aqua Dam, they quoted us almost 6 lakhs. And then some of our monks said, hey, why to pay 6 lakhs for hydrogeological survey? We have a villager who can take a coconut in the hand and go around. And wherever the water is, the coconut will start rotating. And the best part of that idea, it costs only 200 rupees. When I told it to our architect Chitra, she said, if you employ that technique, then I'm out of the project. And therefore, it's sometimes challenging to actually inspire people to follow a scientific methodology. And as far as clean energy is concerned, yes, the solar is there, the biogas is there, but I really had found the ADPM, animal-driven prime mover, very interesting, where the bull power could be used and using a gear and shaft system getting the water out. But the problem in that we faced, but the bull was energetic, the guy behind the bull used to get tired and he would go on strike now and then. So, having experienced a lot of interventions on the ground, I have no romance left with any of these techniques because we have seen the difficulties and challenges in the implementation in many of these. And then next is decent work and economic growth. When they do not have proper land, we help them set up some small shops and we train them. And also we have a 70,000 square feet skill development center we have created, the largest in Maharashtra. And we have created 400,000 mud blocks on site. And we host people regularly. They come here from different parts of the world as part of SDG 10, reduce inequalities. They are coming to see what the villagers do and learn from the villages, which is very, very important. And then as part of spiritual and sustainable ecotourism, we have recreated Vrindavan forest with 12 forests and 7 temples, because why all the spiritual places have to be in few places only? We can recreate those places. That's the idea. And so, how does all of this fit in? Unless people learn how to control themselves, because discipline is the fusion of intention with action. So we are teaching wisdom, Ayurveda and yoga, helping people change and transform their lifestyle as part of United Nations Faith for Earth program. And I've been appointed as a United Nations Faith for Earth counselor. And then conferences for climate action. And this was very interesting, where we have a pyrolysis plant which converts plastic into diesel. And this is for liquid waste, for plastic waste especially. And what we have is conservation of seeds, which is very important. We had so many varieties of indigenous seeds which need to be conserved. And peace, justice, and strong institutions and collaborations for the same. And thus we are trying our little bit to implement the 17 SDGs at the Govardhan Eco Village. I'd like you to play that 1-minute video, sir, so that it gives you a summary of what we have been trying to do. So, the last one, which is a 1-minute video.
Rampant illiteracy, malnutrition, and lack of infrastructure. This is the story of Wada, one of India's most backward tribal areas. However, since 2010, ecotourism has become a lifeline for this region. Govardhan Eco Village's sustainable development model, which is based on